Midfield away, Pierre Rising, but he just has too much early pace and quickly takes the lead. At the point of the turn, 4:50 to go. Beauty Waves leads, but Pierre Rising quickly swept on by, and he heads past the Silent Witness statue with 300 to go. Pierre Rising is 3-4 in front of Helios Express. We've waited 20 plus years, but Silent Witness, he gets company with 17 wins in a row. Those wins from Pierre Rising. Racing in the Stewards Cup. Romantic Warrior began well, speed off the inside from Red Lion, My Wish, and Lucky Swayness outside the quartet up front. It's the big two, Romantic Warrior. Boys Bubbles about a half a length away from Lucky Swayness and Sunlight Power, but it's Romantic Warrior, 100 metres to go over a game, Lucky Swayness and Boys Bubble, and now this great horse at the Stewards Cup, Romantic Warrior. What an animal!
A couple of the bona fide champions of the Hong Kong racing industry at the moment, in Pierre Rising and Romantic Warrior, flexing their might last weekend. Hello and welcome to the Triple Trio, your weekly look at all things Hong Kong racing. Normal service hasn't quite resumed. James Tzaferis filling in for Jason Richardson, who we've kept on ice for one more week, but we do have the star of the show, Quinn Hutchison, back from holiday. Hutchie, great to see you.
And thanks to BZ and, of course, Jason Tan, who filled in last week. Yes, JT, I'm very well, refreshed, I'm ready to go. We're back in business, and how about those scenes from last week? It was great. I mean, it wasn't any surprises, but I thought tactically it was really interesting, the mile, and Romantic Warrior, he is just a superstar, isn't he? To beat the Hong Kong mile winner in Voyage Bubble so convincingly, that was special.
Shane Dye hasn't gone anywhere. He continues to carry the team week in, week out. And Shane, as we welcome you into the show, pretty much went to script last week.
Oh, they're just too good. And welcome back, Clint. It's nice to see you. Have a regular back on the show. They were awesome, both horses. And there's nothing you can say about them. They're just the best going around, probably in the world at present.
Speaking of the world, before we get into the show, and obviously we'll talk about, and review those races in a little bit greater detail going forward. But how was your trip around the world? You've been here, there and everywhere the last few weeks.
Yeah, I feel like I have been everywhere and hasn't stopped, but had a great time. This was some shots I took of the coverage from Gulfstream Park in Florida. It was great to catch up with a former Hong Kong Jockey Club employee. Now he's running the track out there, Dave Duggan. Great to see him. Terry McAuliffe, your former work colleague there at racing.com, and I saw him in London, so that was great. And David Egan, who's been a regular on the Triple Trios riding at Gulfstream, and we'll see him, I'm sure, in the UK through the year, and hopefully he can touch base with us. And he assured me that he'll keep us well informed of everything in the UK and Europe. So it was great trip.
He gets around, Shane. He lives a pretty glamorous life, our Hutchie.
He's actually got to come back to Australia for a holiday.
Yeah, pretty much. That was a great trip, and was obviously keeping tabs on Hong Kong, and it's the big racing kicked off last week. But it's an amazing couple of months, JT. We've got the Derby coming up in the next couple of months, and the build up towards that, and all those feature races with Pierre Rising, of course, and the Triple Crown potentially from Romantic Warrior. Speaking
about keeping tabs on the racing, have you been keeping tabs on Richo? Where is the great man?
Oh, it's a good question. He needs a holiday, Shane, doesn't he? I mean, he does need a holiday. Talk about work. He can do a bit of work. So I'm glad that he's taken a week off.
He hasn't been fronting up for us. He wasn't here last week. He's not here this week. What is he doing? Playing golf or something?
This is his golf shot as well. And he's talking himself up a little bit as well, JT. How about that? Straight into the bushes.
Look,
pathetic.
Let's just say lucky he's a great television presenter, because I don't know that he would quite make it as a golf pro, that's for sure. Although you wouldn't want to see my swing, because I'm pretty
good from here, but that's the stuff of nightmares, Shane. You're getting filmed, everyone's going to see it. You put one straight in the bushes.
The one thing I noticed there is whoever's dressing him needs to be sacked desperately soon, right? He needs someone else to dress him. It wasn't a good look.
There you go, okay.
We might have to get the cameras out for a Triple Trio golf day or something like that.
He fancies himself as a sort of, knowing about the wardrobe as well, so he won't like those comments from Shane. We'll discuss that next week.
Speaking of what is coming up on the show, plenty to look forward to. All our regular segments, we're going to have a look at a massive card of racing on Sunday. As you said, Hutch, headlined by the Hong Kong Classic Mile as the race towards the Derby heats up.
Yeah, can't wait for that. And it's a very competitive year. We'll deep dive into that as well later on the show. But it's really the race that every Hong Kong owner wants to win. So
Yep.
we say it every year, and no different this year, and it's very competitive.
All right, time for a quick break on the Triple Trio. Plenty coming up. On the other side, we're going to turn our attention to a massive Sunday of racing. We're also going to catch up with a man that's got one of the leading contenders in the Hong Kong Classic Mile, and that is Pierre Ng. All right, time to find some winners for a massive Sunday of racing in Hong Kong. We'll have a look at the feature race shortly, but Hutch, we're going to start nice and early on the card. Race number 3, on paper, looks a really competitive contest. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's small field. I've got Patch of Theta, a pretty short price favourite, about $2.20 here, so looks a nice setup for him. Inside draw, Love Bowman going on. Dromberg Banner probably leads the race, and Best is definitely good enough. Had excuses the other day, but we'll take a look at a replay here. Shane, on this occasion, it's a high rating race. They ran good time. Wasn't easy to make ground. I think 9 of 11 winners this day were in the first 5 in the run. They went 11 lengths faster than 400. But Patch of Theta was a great run, and he gets a nice stalking run in this contest with Huey Bowman on, who's got a fantastic record on him.
Yeah, well, he come home in the 22s this day, and it was a good run. He hit the line from gate 2. He's just going to get the perfect run. He's going to race closer. Here's his trial. Clint, he trialled very, very well this day. Had an easy trial. He's going to be extremely hard to beat in this type of race, and there's pace in the race, so that's going to suit him. They're not going to go that slow, I don't believe.
No, I tend to agree. I think there will be reasonable speed. There's a couple that can go forward, and he doesn't need to be too far back from that barrier. I think the barrier is a big plus for him, of course, drawn where he has. And Hugh Bowman, I mentioned that record, JT, 9 rides, 3 wins and 5 placings. So he usually gets it done on this horse, and I know he's got a lot of time from it. In fact, at one time he thought he might be more of a 1,200 metre horse, a horse that could probably run over the sprints, but I think this is his go, the 1,400. As
you said, Beauty Eternal brings a different form line in this small field. How do you sort of line that up?
Well, Beauty Eternal's kind of in the wilderness a little bit, and the key plus, I think, for Beauty Eternal, Shane, is if he can find the rail. We know he's a horse that can lay it. In his last run, I thought, was a little better. So he could be an improver. I'm not that keen on Healthy Happy as a pace influence. And, of course, Dromberg Banner missed the start this day and copped the check. So forget that. He was out the back. That's not his run style. But Beauty Eternal is a very important runner here, Shane, because we know anywhere near his best, he's good enough.
Oh, he'd be winning if he was at his best. There's no risk about that, but is he? You're right in what you said. His last run was a little bit better. I think he's had 5 unplaced runs this year, but he's on a great rating. And if he can reproduce anything of what he used to, he's going to be there. But the question is, can he?
So, Hutch, you're with Patch of Theta.
Yep.
Shane, who are you siding with here in race number 3?
Pretty easy race. I'm going Patch of Theta from Dromberg Banner, Light Years Charm, and Tomodachi Cockerel. Not a hard race, that, Clint.
No, it doesn't look that way, and Patch should be hard to beat.
All right, there we go. So the Brains Trust lining up on Patch of Theta there in race number 3. We're going to skip ahead to race number 11 a little bit later on this huge card on Sunday. What do you make of this one, the Yan Xiao Tong handicap, Hutch?
Yeah, it's a very good race. I really have a lot of time for the horse on top, Super Express. Midwinter Win gets a drop in class. Power of Vitam is a newcomer, and Without Compare caught my eye the other day. Those two might be reasonable prices in this last race, but let's focus firstly on Super Express. I think he's the horse to take out of this race for sure. Riding together could be considered. I don't think this was the way to ride him. But fresh up, this was the A course. Shane, the inside was off. There wasn't that much pressure in the race. Akash Vani won it. But it was a really good run from Super Express, who had his chance, but will strip fitter.
Yeah, 100%. Like, he never goes bad. What's he had now? 5 runs, I think, and the furthest he's finished back is second. Very consistent. From gate 9, he'll go forward a bit, you would think, and he gets his chance.
Reasonable pace in the race as well, and Maxime Guillon aboard him for John Size. He looks like an exciting prospect actually going forward, Super Express, but we'll have to see how he goes. A key runner as well, JT, will be Midwinter Win with that class drop, and Hugh Bowman to ride as well.
What about Everyone's Star? Brings the form from a Class 3 going back to the middle of December. Do you give this horse any chance?
Well, I'm interested to talk to Shane about this horse. Now, Shane, they put the hood on the other day. He was up in trip. I thought he was very plain. He's had a trial since, and he missed the start. He never really got interested. I don't know. I'm going to be against him on the weekend. If he brings the best version of himself, I think he's got a good chance. But I've got some question marks now.
Yeah, well, on his last run, he got beat 4 lengths. He had every chance. He was midfield, but he got out and he only battled on. He wasn't impressive. Coming back to the 14, I think, suits him. Here's midwinter win. He's racing really well. The problem with this horse, gate 13 is not a problem because he's going to get back. He's got 135 pounds. And can he make up the ground with 135 pounds now he's down in class? That's the interesting question. But he's racing very well. He's been getting back, hitting the line with light weights, but he's got to do it with 135 pounds now, Clint.
Yeah, and in that race there, that was obviously first and second with both Derby aspirants, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and he's finished third and he comes back in class. So I think he's good enough, but the weight is a factor, as Shane mentioned.
Shane, is race number 11 as clear cut for you as race number 3? Who have you found on top?
I think so. I think Super Express picks itself and it will be very short. Six Pack's racing well. Doesn't go bad from gate 1. He's going to get the right run. I'm going to give Everyone Star another chance and, of course, Midwinter Win. There's not too many chances in this race, Clint.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of value in the race actually to be had, Shane. Those two horses that I mentioned, one was from Victoria and the form around that race was very good. Advertam, I think it was called down here, and it's got obviously a different name in Hong Kong there. But and the other horse that really caught the eye of Danny Shums, it was a low rating race, slow pace. Late sectionals were great there. So I think those are two horses I had in third and fourth in my selections that you want to put in. And I'll probably be having something small on to win too. Hopefully they're a good price.
All right, looking forward to both of those two races on a massive Sunday of racing. But to be fair, the highlight is the Hong Kong Classic Mile, the road to the Derby. We'll take a look at it on the other side of a short break. You're watching the Triple Trio. So the 4-year-olds come to the 4 in Hong Kong. The road to the Derby really starts to heat up, and it is one of the most coveted prizes in not just Hong Kong racing, but world racing. And Hutch, things start to get a little bit exciting now. Where do you sort of see the Derby picture before we talk about Sunday's race? Where are things at from a Derby perspective?
We love a Derby rankings. We do them every year, J10. They usually go quite well. They have in the past. I'll just show you from last year's point of view. We had Cap Ferrat there on top, and of course lengths off that. So we have their speed figures. We adjust them for weight and a peak figure. So this is a peak figure, weight adjusted, and that's what we saw from last year. There's some decent horses there, but 87 was where Cap Ferrat was, who of course ended up winning it. But it's a little bit different this year. In fact, it's different from the point of view, we've got a lot of horses there with some good exposed form, but so little between them. It's quite remarkable, actually. Here we have it. So the top-rated horse isn't in the same league at the moment, but absolutely nothing between. Well, there's basically 2 lengths covering the top 12, which is quite remarkable. We've got Little Paradise on top. In terms of just pure speed figures, actually, Sagacious Life, Numbers, and Little Paradise, Sagacious, and Numbers are all pretty similar. So that's interesting in itself. But, gee, this year, Shane, there's very, very little between them. I'm not sure we've seen a standout performance, but there's a lot of horses there that on paper you can make a case for.
Oh, definitely. But there's a reason for that, Clint. And the reason is you can't buy the good horses overseas anymore. Like before, we used to go to Aussie or New Zealand and buy whatever looked like winning derbies over there. Now they're just too expensive and they're not selling them because the prize money's too big.
Does that suggest now, Hutch, that all eyes are on Sunday with the Hong Kong Classic Mile to see if a horse can sort of stamp their authority?
Definitely.
And
it's an interesting
year.
And here's my market. We talk about horses from overseas, and maybe Australia's hard to buy from, but Sagacious Life won the Brazilian Derby, of course, and he's proven over 1.5 miles. Zach Purton had the choice between 6 horses. He's gone with Sagacious Life, and he's got the highest official rating in the race as well. It's a very messy map, this, Shane. I don't know what Zach will do from gate 30. I was trying to go through it yesterday once the declarations were out, and I was getting very confused. It's very tricky. I think it's advantage probably Little Paradise in terms of the map, but it's not going to be straightforward.
Well, he's got to go to a mile the first time, but the way he races, you would think he would run it pretty easy, and he was impressive last start. But it wouldn't have surprised me what Sack had ridden. Invincible Ibis, Little Paradise, and of course the horse he's on, Sagacious Life. And also Beauty Bolt's not the worst. He's racing well, very consistent. But it's a pretty open race, this, Clint.
Well, Zach had the choice between quite a few runners in the race, and Thankfully, his lovely wife and our very own Nicole Purton caught up with him earlier in the week to get his thoughts on the race and why he chose to go with Sagacious Life.
I felt like Sagacious Life has had 3 starts here. He's performed well at every start. He won a Class 2 race carrying top weight over the mile, the track and distance of the Classic Mile at his last start in a fairly solid race. You know, there are a few horses in that race that were out of form, so it was probably a little bit of a weaker Class 2 than some other races you would get, but I like the fact that he's only 1,050 pound and he carried 135 and he was still able to get the job done. But I can make a case for every horse. You know, thinking a little bit further beyond the Classic Mile as well, I have confidence. He's shown in Brazil that he can run 2,400, although he's been a little bit keen in his races here. So there was a little bit of a long-term view to picking a horse as well, although I tried to go with a horse I thought might have the best chance in this race. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to who draws the right barrier, who gets the right run, how the race is run, the track bias on the day, and any one of those horses can win. It's either going to be a very good year, where we've got a lot of promising horses coming through, or we're going to end up really disappointed because they're a very even bunch. But I think it'll be the former. I think we've got some handy horses this season.
Yeah, great to get that insight from Zach there. So mentioning that draws could be all important. We're going to take a look at what Sagacious Life did last start. Drew well, drew low on this occasion, got the perfect run. Different sort of recipe for how the race might unfold on the weekend.
It was a tough win still. I mean, he popped off at the 600 and he kept grinding away. Like Zach said, it probably wasn't a stellar race by the standard, but Shane, he's earned his rating. He's the highest rated horse on a mark of 97. He's beaten older horses. He is tactically somewhat versatile. And I think he's a good starting point for Zach. I can understand why he's gone with this horse. Like I said, his speed figure was excellent and he was pretty tough here late.
Well, he is. He just keeps coming. His first win was very good when he was never going to win that day. He kept coming. He meets Top Dragon 9 pounds better. Here's Little Paradise. Now, he was really impressive and he quickened. The second horse, he's, what's it called? Infinite Resolve, really hit the line, but he's got to go a mile for the first time also. But both these horses have definitely got a good chance in the race, Clint.
And public attention back in fourth. They've put the blinkers on. It's D-Day now. I thought the recent trial was just average. He looked promising in Victoria, but he could improve.
Fifth or sixth in a Caulfield Guineas at Group 1 level. So
he needs to improve a bit on what we've seen there. I mean, yeah, it's an interesting one. Top Dragon's actually the horse that can tie him in. I mean, there's lots of different ways you can do the form, but Top Dragon ties in the Sagacious Life form and some of the Little Paradise, and there was about a length between them there. So it just backs up once again, JT. There's not much between a few of them.
Well, let's have a look at Little Paradise. And we know that Toronado is doing some great things with his horses in Hong Kong. Thanks to our friends at G1 Goldmine and Stallion Match, they've put together this sort of analysis of his pedigree and what that says in terms of his aptitude towards relishing a particular distance, Hutch.
Group 1 Goldmine can flex their muscles all year, but it's very important at this point in time, and we love to use it for the Derby, and it does really, I love it as a tool to sort of give me a bit of an idea, because I'm not sure, Shane, whether I think the mile will be okay, and this is what's really been backed up for Little Paradise. I think the mile looks okay. You can see right over that mile bubble on his pedigree that's going to be okay, but beyond that, a little bit more of a question mark. So in the here and now, many would argue he's the horse to beat in this race.
Oh, definitely. He's done nothing wrong, man. He quickened like a really nice horse last time. Now, will he run past a mile? That's debatable. But we're going to find out. Gate 6, he's going to get a good run, probably running 5th or 6th somewhere, I would think. One off the fence, hopefully, and he'll get his chance. But there's a lot of horses like this, Clint, in this race.
Invincible Ibis is probably another horse, Hutch, that, is easy enough to make a case for, given the form that he's been in.
He looks like he's a great chance for Mark Newnham, who went so close in the Derby last year to atone this year and get a victory. Beauty Bolt was great. The advantage of Beauty Bolt, Shane, he can take a spot. He had his chance here. It was a pretty soft win from Invincible Ibis. The knock that I've got, before I get your thoughts on Invincible Ibis, Shane, is that he is a back market. He needs a little bit to go his way.
100%. He's going to get back. He's going to run on and he'll need luck at some stage. This was a huge win, Clint. First up with the big weight, 135 pounds over a mile. Now, this horse has had 2 runs over a mile and won them both. He's not without a chance. He's a nice horse, gate 9. He'll be running midfield, but can he back it up in a stronger race second up after quite a hard win first up and run, I should say?
think they said he had a tendon injury and he was off the scene for many months, JT. And to win first up, I couldn't agree more with you, Shane. First up after a lengthy break, carried weight. He's a really, really interesting horse. So it's another one. Zach rode him there too, but that was sort of quite recent. Great training effort, but he could be anything, Patch of Cosmo.
Well, he actually had 10 months off.
Yeah.
That's a long time. And first up over a mile with 135 pounds. Phew, big win.
Shane, I'm very confused after this chat. I need some direction, mate. Who wins on Sunday?
I'm going Invincible Ibis. He'll get back. He'll run on from Beauty Bolt from Sagacious Life. And I'm going to throw Ash Varney in from, I think he'll get a good lead. And when I say a good lead, he shouldn't be pressured too much. And if he leads from gate 4, he might run the mile out and he's going to be a rough one at big odds, I would think.
So, Hutch, plenty of questions. We'll get some answers, I think, on Sunday.
Yeah, no, we'll get some answers for sure. It'll be really interesting. But I'm with Sagacious Life, like I said, but there's so little between so many of these, and I'm relying on Zach to get a good run. How much will the market get behind Zach will be interesting. Invincible Ibis got to be right there. Little Paradise is, like I said, in many people's eyes, probably you could mark him favourite easily. And if you like them, you've got to have Beauty Bolt there. So it's a very, very competitive race, and there's another few chances for sure. Well,
the man that trains Sagacious Life is Pierre Ng, and on the other side of a quick break on the Triple Trio, we'll hear about his leading contender and whether he can win on Sunday. Well, it's time for Star Power, and we've gone for a big star for today's episode. Very lucky to be joined by leading trainer Pierre Ng, who's got a leading contender in the feature race on Sunday. Pierre, thank you so much for jumping on. How are you and how is Sagacious Life?
I'm good, and so is the horse. Since the last run, he's been putting up very well from it, and last week he did trial really well. So we're very happy coming into this 4-year-old race without that much pressure, I'll say, which is really happy.
Pierre, obviously it's important to be able to get the services of Zach Purton. He's got an interesting race and an interesting map to contend with from a wide barrier. How do you see the race playing out for them on the weekend?
13, yes, it is wide, but I'd rather be wide than drawing inside. To be needed the luck to get out. So we got the best jockey. He know how to dictate the pace and know where to go from that. So I just trust the horse. He's got the ability to overcome that, and it's not too much a worry for me.
Shane, you got some questions for Pierre?
No. Do you think he'll go forward, Pierre?
Obviously, there's at least 2 horses will go forward. I think we just 2 or 3 horses. I think we just jam out and roll on. Hopefully, we just keep into his momentum. I'll say if they go fast, we'll take a little bit back. If they go slow, great. I think we just keep on rolling.
Must give you a little bit of confidence as well going forward, I think, Pierre, the fact that your horse has already won over an extended journey. So, you can afford to, be peaking in about another 6 weeks' time. So is that something also to bear in mind?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We come into the race without too much pressure, whereas the others have needed the ratings to get in. So I told, as I expressed myself to the owners, we just at a point that without any pressure we can come into this race is brilliant. Other than that, we just have to enjoy these 3 races.
Well, they would have enjoyed the debut. It's very hard to win first time out in Hong Kong. And Brittany Wong, I know he had no weight, but did he surprise you this day, Pierre, on his Hong Kong debut when he got up to win?
Yes, definitely. I was expecting my other horse to win, but he had no luck. And then from the first day he trialled, we thought he'll go further. It looks to go further for me. Mao is a little bit sharp for him. And but he did brilliant on the first day. The second start with James, a little bit unlucky in the end, but he still finished off quite well. Of course, the third run, carrying the much more weight, he still managed to win. So I think we just have to keep watching him and see what he does in the later on.
Pierre, obviously, if we reflect back to the weekend, a horse that's been an incredible flag bearer for your stable is Galaxy Patch. How did you assess his performance last weekend?
He had no luck at all. He just he thought he got a perfect spot, but in the end, when they slowed down and he just got too much out of it. He's just a pretty one-dimension horse. But good pace, he'll finish off well. So next time, I think we just ride him more quiet and let him finish us off.
Yeah, that's good to hear, Pierre. Hey, let's have a look forward just quickly to your weekend runners, because I know you're a very busy man, but you got some interesting runners there, leading Dragon, Gangnam Star, Drombeg Banner. We've covered this race already. What can you tell us about his chances this weekend? He looked a bit unlucky last start with a check at the start.
Yes, last race was a bit unlucky. After probably 20, 30 minutes, he got chopped off. It's more like a trial for me, the last one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're showing me again. Okay. And I think this race, drawn 3, I don't think any others will come from left or right. I think we just jump and roll on. He's in good form. He's always been good when he come into the winter. So with the lightweight, I think he has a very good chance as well.
And did you? I mean, obviously got Sagacious Life, but any others on the card this weekend that we should be paying extra special attention to?
I think the first race, Leading Dragon, he the first stop he ran 5th, but he's from 1 running first stop in the straight in Sha-Tin, which is not too ideal. He got the speed, so I think this time we got a better draw. So we just jump well and get on the rail and try to lead the race.
No, that's great.
Pierre, the horse I want to ask you about is Frantic. Like, he was rated 77 last year. He's in race 7.
Yes.
He missed the start, got back and ran on. And his trial was good the other day. He's going better. Now, he's been out of form for a long time. Do you feel he's coming right?
Yes.
And he's on a great rating.
Obviously, he's on a great rating, and he's been going through lots of problems, with his throat surgery and all that. He raced really well last time. We tried to go a little bit forward on him last time, but it didn't really help him out. So he ridden him quietly, but he really progressed in the last bit of the race last time. So I think we just stick to our last racing plan, ride him quietly, and he'll finish off pretty close.
Pierre, we appreciate your time on the Triple Trio so much. Thank you for jumping on and having a chat. Good luck with all your runners on Sunday, but particularly Sagacious Life. Hopefully he can continue to tick the boxes on the road to the Derby.
Thank you. Hopefully. Yes.
All right, quick break on the Triple Trio. On the other side, we're going to open up HUTCHI'S form files. All right, it's that time of the week where we open up HUTCHI'S form files. And Hutch, you've had your eye closely on Hong Kong racing, even though you've been away. Your sweet in defeat file, who's made it this week?
Yeah, last week there's been a couple of horses that are quite interesting, and one of them is by the name of Gorgor, recently changed stable, and now with Brent Crawford, and I like this run. This was, I think, an improved performance, so maybe settle into the new environment. He's lightly raced, hasn't shown much. The way this race was run, actually they didn't go that quick, and he was sort of in behind one, so it was much more suitable to those horses in the front third of the field, and particularly when the sprint went on, you can see now he starts to build into the race, Gorgor. But this was a good effort. I'm not sure if he'll be a sort of just a Happy Valley horse or better at Chartin. He looks like he's got quite a big action on him. But I thought it was an improved run, Shane. He built into the race nicer, particularly late, and it was a much better run from him.
He's improving all these horses, isn't he, Crawford? He's done a really good job. I see he's got a full stable. He's gone from, 20 horses up to 70 nearly now, or 60-something. So those horses there are nice horses to follow.
Yeah, Gallant Design was a debutant, narrowly missed. He'll be winning one for Jamie Richards. And I think Spirit of Peace, if he'd be an absolute moral if he could drop a class. He's on the brink of that, Shane, but he might pinch one too in a grade high. I think he's pretty close to win as well.
Yeah, his last two runs back to 1,200 have suited him. He put him up in distance and he didn't seem to suit him, but back to the 12, he's really hitting the line. He's racing well now.
No surprises, Hutch, that one of the bona fide champions that we saw go around last weekend is your Hutchie's Honker's top-rated performance.
Yeah, it was Romantic Warrior. I mean, Pierre Ng ran good time. There actually wasn't that much pressure in the sprint race, was there? But Shane, I'll get your take quickly on just the tactics here. I mean, obviously, Lucky Swayness was interesting in the race. He drew wide, and at this stage, you can see J-Mac having a look over his shoulder. He's got Zach inside him, and he probably has a little bit of an issue. What am I going to do? But this association he's got with this horse, you can pretty much ride him anywhere you want. It's remarkable. And eventually, Lucky Swayness goes forward. You'll see J-Mac go and park outside him, but love the ride from James. He does make it look easy, and you've got to be on a star, but I thought tactically he got it spot on again.
Oh, 100%. This was fantastic. He let the race unfold. Zach was unfortunate that Voyage Bubble missed the start, and once he did miss the start, James could dictate to him. He got him into a perfect posse here, and he doesn't pull when he puts him there, and he just relaxes. But the thing about this horse, I wrote a story about it in Ideal Horse this week. This horse is going better than ever, Clint. His sectionals now are sectionals he never used to run. And he's really hitting the line, and he's just a different horse. He's unbelievable at present.
Yeah, no, he's going great guns, and to beat a Hong Kong mile winner back in December in Voyage Bubble, he didn't have everything go as well, let's be honest. Now, what about, just quickly, while we're saying how good Romantic Warrior was, and we don't need to sort of pump his tyres too much, but what do you think with My Wish? Did they get it wrong? Should they have led with him? I mean, they didn't want to be too aggressive. They changed jockeys here. What did you make of his effort, and what did you make of the ride there?
Well, he should have led once he was outside red line with Yui on it, and Yui always gives it up if you're going to pressure him. If he leads, he runs second. He doesn't win. There's no risk about that. But he's just not in the same class as a Romantic Warrior, and that's what's happening in these races, whether it's a sprint or a 2,000-metre race, a mile. These two horses, Pierre Ng Rising, Romantic Warrior, they're so good they just dominate, Clint. So you're in a no-win situation before you go out there.
Yeah, and you could see unlucky Galaxy Patch back there. Hopefully, Pierre's turned off by this stage because he was running into a lot of trouble.
Us rolling some replays of a couple of the recent races, Hutch.
Yeah, exactly.
Just quickly, and Shane's just mentioned, but Pierre Ng Rising, speak about Romantic Warrior, how incredible for Hong Kong to have, two generational talents racing in different sort of ranks, but at the same time.
Yeah, it was, incredible. We're going to run out of plaudits. You'd imagine there's no reason why he's not going to go through and post the most consecutive wins in Hong Kong's history. He's only ever been beaten twice in his career, and both by narrow margins. He's flying. He controlled the race here and was impressive. Good to see Hellas Express back. Fast Network. I know a lot of the narrative in Australia seems to be, he's beating up on nothing up there. Look, I don't think that's the case. Shane, I reckon a few of these horses that have run in behind him, you could bring down to Australia and they'd win a Group 1. I've absolutely no doubt in my mind that would be the case.
100%. You know what they're like in Aussie. A lot talk shit about him, which is just a joke. I've had a few calls the last week, though, people telling me they went back and watched Black Caviar and they say, Shane, I've got to agree with you. I went back and watched Black Caviar and put this horse there. He would beat Black Caviar. So people are starting to turn in Aussie now. Who cares whether he does or not? As far as I'm concerned, he would, but it doesn't matter. He's just a champion. He's one of the best horses I've ever seen. And if they want to knock him in Aussie, they can.
Fighting words from RS Dye. Just quickly, you mentioned some of those other sprinters, how they would measure up. Does Helios Express need to come to Australia to win his Group 1?
We saw Cape of Good Hope do that years ago. We saw Cape of Good Hope go down here. He came down. What did he won one of those races at Flemington? The
Manikato Stakes, Clint. He won the Manikato at Moonee Valley.
it's an option for them. I think there might be one or two of them potentially going to Dubai as well, and they'll run well. So, yeah, I mean, the prize money's still good, even if you're running the money in Hong Kong. But if you want to win that Group 1, you could do a lot worse than travel them.
So I think Sagacious Express, who runs second every start, has won something like 10 million Aussie dollars. And he doesn't win.
Yeah.
So the prize money's fantastic. Now, if you've got a horse in Aussie and he wins 10 million, what is he? How good is he? Well, Sagacious Express has done it, and he can't get near Pierre Rising, and he's up to around the $10 million mark. So there's a lot of money to be made running second.
Oh, it's incredible, Shane. I'd just love to see the horse get his time in the spotlight because he's very, very talented. One man that loves his time in the spotlight is RS Dye. It's time for the Idol. All right, Shane, so from the past week of racing in Hong Kong, was there a ride or a jockey's performance that stood out for you for the right reasons?
Well, Zach's flying at present. Zach's riding better than anyone. He's just on fire. I think he rode 20 winners last week. But this is a kid, Alex Wong, on flying luck. Watch this. This was just a perfect ride. This horse has had a bit of time off. He's only had one run earlier in the season. He jumps out. He gives him a chance. He goes back on him, but he never panics at any stage, Clint. And he just gives him a perfect ride the whole race. And for a kid to ride a horse like this, some of these other jocks riding in Hong Kong should watch. They might learn something because he never panicked at any stage. It was just amazing, Clint.
Yeah,
that's him in the orange back.
Yeah, what is he, about 5 back? Pardon me, on the fence, but I think, you know, it also goes to show a little bit, Shane. I think Casper's given him a lot of good opportunities, and, you know, you get the opportunities, they can deliver, but sometimes they need to get an opportunity to provide those wins, and he's not an easy ride flying luck.
No, well, he wins the race up here at the half mile where he's got the favourite Dazzling Fit up outside of him, and he just stays behind him, but he cuts the corner, and that's what wins him the race. You see here, he's not going to get off the fence. He's not trying to, whereas a lot of jocks do, and he gets up inside Dazzling Fit here, and he saves ground. But you watch him when he comes out. He doesn't get the horse off balance at any stage. He's still on the inside. He starts to just edge out gradually, and that's what wins him the race, that he doesn't get him off balance, and he gets him to the outside and he says, now go, boy. And he quickens like a really nice horse. That's just a perfect ride, and well done to him. He deserved that.
Yep.
You know, because for a kid to do that in that type of race isn't easy.
No, that's a good ride. I mean, if you're a senior jockey, you'd be happy with that one, Shane.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And he's what's he claimed, 5 or 7 pounds still?
5 pounds, I think.
He's doing well, Alice Wong, a product of the Apprentice Academy in South Australia, like Brittany Wong, who we spoke to at the back end of last year. So coming across with some experience and you know, finding the mark in Hong Kong, which is good to see. Good to see,
great to see, and he's going well, Alice.
Hey, Shane, what about a ride that caught your eye for the wrong reasons? Is there one that stands out?
I've got to put this up, Maxime Guerin or whatever. This is as bad as it gets. Like, I don't know what he was thinking on this. This is all Wells, his favourite. He's got gate 3, and you watch him. He jumps well. Now, you've got to understand that there were 5 races behind the bend before this race. 4 of them were won by horses on the fence. Why isn't he going to the fence to follow the grey horse who's second favourite? He keeps pushing this other horse out of the way because he won't go to the fence. I don't understand it. Now, if you've got the side on, you have a look how much ground he loses. This is as bad as it gets, this ride, as far as I'm concerned. Why don't you go to the fence? The horse probably wins. So he's end up here, but now have a look at the horse who was behind him in the green colours and the yellow sleeves. He gets up inside of him, and all of a sudden he's a length to 2 lengths in front of him, and he should have been following the grey horse who's third on the fence. And have a look in the straight. What happens? It opens up like anything. Everything on the inside gets a run. But, oh, no, he wants to come out. And he comes out, and where does he go? Nowhere. Dead end. Everything on the inside opens up. He could have been there following the grey horse, who was second favourite, going to take him into the race, and he just runs into dead ends. So as far as I'm concerned, he deserved that pay because that's as bad as it gets.
Why do you think he was staying one off, Shane? Just to try and give himself some options? Or what do you think?
Trying to get himself options. But if you're going to stay off the fence when it's like that, you make sure you get a run and it's perfect, because I don't put up with that type of ride. sorry. If he stays on the fence and doesn't get a run, I don't care. Even if I've backed him for a fortune, it doesn't worry me because it's the best option and the best thing to do. But when you give up the best option and you run your horse into dead ends, you deserve a pay.
Coming in off a long run there, Shane.
We take no prisoners on the Triple Trio, Hutch. That is a look at the Idol. As far as the votes go, Shane, Alice, who we've spoken about, gets top votes, but a couple of familiar names there in the minors too.
Keith rode this China win excellent. He went forward, box seated him, and he also rode a winner really well. Positive win, I think.
Positive Smile,
wasn't it, Clint?
Yeah,
Positive Smile last week. It was an excellent ride. Back, come out, and hit the line. He's going good, Keith, and David's giving him a chance. Yui has found form. His ride on co-partner Fleet was perfect. Back, and Yui lost his timing and everything for a while, but he's got it back and he's riding great. I think he rode 10 winners last month, and Zach, of course, he rode 20 last month, and Zach is riding better than he ever has. He's really flying at present.
I'm glad you gave Keith a couple of points because I caught up with the boys when we were up in Hong Kong last month, and they all say they love watching the show. So cheerio to Keith and Derek and all the boys, and you got some votes. Maybe they'll get some more next week on the back of that.
Yeah, they'll need
But
some.
he did ride them both very well.
He did. No, absolutely.
Like that's China win was a perfect ride. I know he had a good gait, but he can get back that horse, and he didn't allow him to get back. He put him in the right place, and if he wasn't, he wouldn't have won because the leader kicked.
I'll need a few more votes to catch Zach Purton, a runaway leader in the Idol. We're off to a quick break on the Triple Trio on the other side. We're going to go global and talk about all things global racing, review some of the features from last week. Well, big weekend coming up as far as the World Pool goes. Hutch, we head across to South Africa for some feature Group 1 racing over there that we can get involved in.
Yes, and here are the times. No matter where you are in the world, you can watch the action there. So it'll be another great meeting there from South Africa, I'm sure. Usually pretty popular as well. And they got the Cape Town Met, of course, and the Politician Stakes, the HKJC World Pool Stakes as well. So it's a good day there on the South African card. Yeah,
looking forward to that. Plenty of thoughts and analysis and tips flying around online, as was the case last week. Let's reflect on some feature racing in different parts of the world. First of all, over in the United Arab Emirates, a couple of Group 1 races in Dubai, including Imperial Emperor, getting it done in the Al Maktoum Challenge.
Yeah, you can get some big margins in some of these races, but like this meeting is always a pretty good lead to where you want to be aiming at for the Dubai World Cup, which is not all that far away, and a nice performance from a horse that was shorting stride a bit late, but hung on there quite nicely. This is, of course, the race the Romantic Warrior won last year in the Jebel Hatta. It's always a good race. The form will stick up well out of this meeting, and the Godolphin Blue to the fore once again, which I'm sure they will be next month. But a nice performance there from this horse, who will definitely, I think, be right in the mix of it in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, so William Buick getting the job done there, and obviously the build-up continues towards the Dubai World Cup Carnival. Massive night, global participation. So we'll be talking more about that on the Triple Trio in weeks to come. But it was also a massive Saturday in New Zealand, Karaka Millions Day, Group 1 racing, World Pool racing. Only 6 races, Hutch, but they do it very, very well in New Zealand.
Yeah, it's a great night. I've been to that. I think was it last year that I was at that meeting. It was brilliant. Really enjoyed the experience. I think it's well done. I like the concept. And as far as the racing was concerned, they were really treated to some good racing. Aussie sprinters, Shane to the fore, Jigsaw and Arkansas
Kid. Yeah, they were
Kid.
Too good.
You know, those two too good for the Kiwis.
They were way too good.
I've got to get one back for you, mate, because you fly that Kiwi flag all the time.
This is what's happening, mate, because you blokes have to bring your good ones to beat our second raters here, because our good ones are overseas.
And of course, in the 2-year-old race, were you there, JT? Tell us about the experience.
Yeah, so Dream Rocker, the Aussies again, Liam Birchley and Ben Thompson, who spent some time in Hong Kong getting the success. I think, though, Hutch, maybe some questions on how that 2-year-old form will hold up going forward. It all remains to be seen. This form will hold up going forward.
Wow.
Well written. She's a genuine star, undefeated for Stephen Marsh, and visually, you don't see more impressive wins than this, and it was backed up on the clock too.
Backed up in the ratings. Shane, you're never frightened to make your opinion be known. How good's this one?
But I said this before the race,
Right.
last week on the show. I said, this is a superstar. It's one of the best you ever see. Go and watch her win in the Group 1,000 Guineas in November. It is mind-boggling. He went up to win and she started to struggle and he put one around her. And when he put one around her, he put five links on the field. Horses don't do that. She's exceptional. And I said that last week before she raced, that if she come to the Aussie, she'd beat anything here from what I've seen so far.
That's great. It's great to have another good horse, though, isn't it? It's great to have another superstar coming through potentially.
Yeah.
And, they've got some good ones year-long, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So she's going to go to the NZB Kiwi, the slot race for the 3-year-olds, and then it remains to be seen whether she comes to Sydney for an autumn cameo or whether they put her away for the spring. They're talking, I think she's in the market for an Everest and also a Golden Eagle. So.
Right.
It's going to be exciting.
She'll be hard to beat wherever she goes.
Well, Clint, the deal was when Yulong brought 50% before the 1,000 Guineas in November that she stays to race in New Zealand if the owners wanted to.
Right.
And at this stage, I don't think they've actually said they're going to take her to Australia because what's that race worth next month, James? 4 million?
4 million, Shane. Yeah, plenty of coins. So
it's only a matter of time. She'll be over here and be good.
100%. She's got to be.
Yeah.
Well, you send your best to Kiwiland to win now, so we might as well come here and race the second Raiders.
He's in good form. He's come out swinging today, Shane. He has come out swinging.
That's why we love him. Another reason we love him is he provides plenty of insight. Last week we kicked off a series, track walking at Happy Valley. Let's pick it up for part 2.
For the racing world, Happy Valley is a fascinating place to bet at. But it's such a unique racetrack, so we've got the perfect man to give us a tour today in the Hall of Fame jockey and Shane Dye. Shane, what's it like to ride here?
It is actually electrifying. It's amazing. We're at the winning post where, of course, it's the finish. But just have a look around here now, the stand. How big it is. It goes from way down there out of the straight all the way down to probably about the 200 metres, so it's huge. But then have a look around Hong Kong, the tall buildings. At night, it just lights up, Richo.
Yeah.
There's nothing like this place in the world. I'm going to take you for a walk.
Let's go. Let's go and have a walk of this great track.
Have a look there. All these are full race night or race day of guests watching the races.
55,000 people capacity.
And that there is out of the straight. And they're getting a view, if you have a look, of down the straight from there, which is quite amazing. It's probably one of the best views in racing in the world from there. Yeah. And they see everything. And look at the stand here, how big it is and how long it is.
But also how close it is.
Oh, it's right on top of you. And that's what makes this place so exciting. And it's just packed every Wednesday night. Go. Mate, I can't beat him, so what's the point? He's an Olympic. Were you a champion at the Olympics or what? Or Commonwealth Games? What's the point in even trying to race him? All I'm going to do is a hammy, get injured, and then you'll have to carry me the rest of the way, Richo. Yeah. Richo can have the glory. I know he's faster than me. He's just trying to prove a point.
Shane, have a look at this.
It's amazing. I look back at that view at night and I say to myself, how lucky am I to be in this place, this beautiful racecourse riding here, which was a dream since I was a kid, just to be a jockey. That's magical. There's nothing like it in the world. Now, Richo, you tried to take off before on me, which isn't even a contest. I want to see you get under the fence and try and beat some of these blokes running around here.
I reckon I've got him.
Test your
I reckon
ability.
I've got him. I'm going to give him a couple of metres head start. Let's go, come on. We've been up the back straight here and up the rock, and it's been relatively quiet. 55,000 people and a roar awaits you.
Yeah.
Does that hit you as you come around the bend here?
No, well, you're more concentrating on the race and getting around. But no, I don't think they really do, because it's action, you're in there, it's a tense moment, and it's not easy to get around this bend, and you're just concentrating on getting a run in the straight and getting around.
Shane, why have you stopped us here? What do you want to talk about here?
Okay, so Winfred wanted the jockey of the winner to come back up the straight so the public can get that experience of a winner.
Brilliant.
And you bring the horse back up here, the crowd's all over the fence, and you walk them back up here and they're practically trying to grab you. And he just wanted the public to be part of racing and close. So then you walk back up there. You come in here, you'll get off the horse in there, but the owners are already there to have photos. You don't even unsaddle the horse. Someone will unsaddle the horse for you. And they've got a bottle of champagne straight away. They have photos with the champagne, photos with the jockey. It's about a celebration and making it a good experience. Then after all the photos, that's when the jockey gets taken care of and going in and weigh in and then correct weight.
We're at the iconic 1,000-metre start here at Happy Valley.
For me, this was one of the scariest starts when you drew in.
Oh, when you draw it, why?
Well, because you've got to be so ready. The outside horses, it's a long run to the first bend, but they come across so fast from the outside.
Quite a bit that caught our eye on social media during the week. Hutch, I was over at Karaka for the National Yearling Sale celebration, 100 years. And plenty to be excited by, including strong participation from some Hong Kong buyers.
Yeah, fantastic sale. They love it. They've got always a lot of success. And the New Zealand bloodstock, it speaks for itself. Their record here and all around the globe is great. So it's good. It's no surprise to see them very strong, I think, sales once again.
Segue nicely into our next discussion point, and that was a milestone for David Hayes. I know Lindsay Park were active at Karaka, including a couple that will end up in Hong Kong. Big week for him.
Great week. Stable's going well. He'll be eyeing off the championship this year, and he's probably got the ammo to do it as well, Shane. So he'll run well.
He's not far away. Here's your mate, our mate on the show, Alberto. Unfortunately, he had a bad fall.
He did, and he was injured, so that's just a lovely message from Alberto. Of course, for all of us that went on the tour, he spoke with Gerald Mossei's father-in-law at our function on the Saturday. We wish him all the very best. He says, I'll be back soon with the same determination and competitive drive as always. Love him. Get well, Umberto. It was great to see him in December, and we wish him all the very best.
Yeah, dangerous sport. So hopefully he can heal up very, very quickly and we'll be back soon. As we wrap up the show, time to get our best bets. All right, time to hopefully finish on a high with some best bets on what shapes as a huge Sunday in Hong Kong. Hutch, the pressure's on.
The pressure is on. It's an interesting card, actually, overall. I think there's about 14 horses having their first start in Hong Kong on the day, whether they be private purchases, of course, or PPGs, the unraced horses. But my best at the actual whole meeting, I think Pachitheta, great chance for Hugh Bowman and Francis Lloyd. Think he'll be tough to beat. My next best, this is the unluckiest horse in Hong Kong. Come on, Huey, get it done on the Golden Night.
Give him strength, Shane. What about you as far as best bets go?
Actually, I'm not disagreeing with them. I've got both those on top. I'm going to go race 6. This is a little bit different. I'm going to go Sight Hermoso, number 7, because last start he was very disappointing, but he didn't have cover. He was in a line without any cover. When he races well, he's got to have cover. From gate 4, he might go back in behind, and if he does, he'll probably go better because all of his good runs, Clint, he's had cover. That's what I'm relying on.
Full analysis on HUTCHI'S Honkers. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you find plenty of winners on the weekend. Richo back next week on the Triple Trio.
Good luck, everyone.